So let's look at the case where we have diagrams and we want to find ratios. So here, for example 1, we want to express the following kind of squares as a ratio. So first off, we have to determine what we are comparing. Or are we comparing squares here to other squares? Well, the difference I see is colors, right? They're all squares. They're all the same size. We can't compare that. But we do have different colors. So I am going to say that I am just simply going red and blue. Right? So count how many of each quantity. Well, how many red are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red. And how many blue are there? Well, there's 4 blues. Then, step 3, write in the form of quantity 1. So, it doesn't really tell us. Sometimes it'll say represented as a ratio of red to blue or blue to red. But here it doesn't say, it just says express the following as a ratio. So I'm just going to do it the exact same way we wrote it. I wrote red first, so I'm going to write red now because the first thing I saw was red. So here, quantity 1, so I can say R2B, right? Or even a little bit more work, but write red to blue, and then we can simply write under it 5 to 4. So, especially if you look up above for step 2, I'm just going to add that 2 right there, because that's really what we're going to end up doing in our questions. So when we set it out, we're going to set it out always, so we're going to give our descriptors on top and say, well, this is red, this is blue, and it comes in this ratio below. As you notice, you're going to be able to compress a lot of these steps and pretty much do them in almost one step for ratios to begin with, but for the meantime, we'll just work in multiple steps if need be. So, example 2 though, once the screen catches up. Well, okay, example 2, express the following as a ratio. Like I said, here you can start to kind of skip a little bit of steps. So I know I have green and I have blue, right? How many green do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 green, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blue. Okay. So how can I say this? Well, I'm just going to say G to B. Give myself little acronyms, right? And how can I say that? I can say that is 8 to 6. We will learn later how to take this one step further and simplify. But for now, we'll just leave it like that and go on. And lastly, we have something, well, we have some pictures, right? And they're kind of just strewn about, meant to confuse you or throw you off. Okay? So, once we kind of look at what they are, well, we know what do we have? We have rulers, and I'm just going to start it off this time and rulers and put it to protractor. So every single time I'm just compressing what I'm doing, because that's part of my end answer I've been giving anyways. So now expressed as a ratio, well, how many rulers do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 rulers. How many protractors? 3 protractors, and we're done. So here is 5 questions for you to try. So pause the video when you're ready, press play, and then I'll go through the answers. Right, so we are looking at writing these ratios down. So for the first one, we have gray blocks to white blocks. So I'm just going to say that I have G to W even though it's said there. So how many gray? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So next one, we have stars to hearts. So how many stars do we have? Well, we're doing stars to hearts. I typically just take the first letter. If you want to be really clear, you can always put it in brackets or beside or below, just to indicate, hey, this is S for stars, H for hearts. Never hurts just being as clear as possible. So here we have 4 stars and we have 3 hearts. Triangles to squares. Well, look at what the question asks you, and because it's not just saying ratio, right? We're being specific. We want triangles to squares this time. So, how many triangles do we have? Because they're colored, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't. We don't care about the colors. If we cared about green to teal, maybe that'd be different. But they could be asking a bunch of questions here. So here, triangle to squares. Well, we have triangles. We'll put first, 2 squares second, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 triangles and 1 square. Okay. Next one, we have circles to semicircles. That looks like we have 2 to 2. So circles to semicircles is 2, 2, 2. 2, 2, 2. Wow, tongue twister. And lastly, A's to B's. So most of the times they're going to try and do stuff to kind of confuse you. So one thing, when it looks like something where you might make a mistake, just cross out as you go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7 A's. And then how many B's do I have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 B's. Finish that off.